Afternoon to you all. So I welcome you all once again for one more interesting session of biological science. So as a part of this, in the previous class, I do explain about the amoebiasis in a detailed way. And in the protozoan diseases, and two more important diseases are left behind. So in today's session, I'd like to explain about the two important, the protozoan diseases, and the detailed information regarding that we will see now, right? And coming to the important one is the trypanosomiasis is actually the name of a protozoan disease. This is actually here in general terms used to call as the sleeping sickness. The important characteristic feature of this disease actually the person here asleep for a long time. So since here the name sleeping sickness is assigned to this disease, that is trypanosomiasis. Whereas coming to this actually the disease caused by a protozoan pathogen, and this protozoan pathogen is known as here trypanosoma. Trypanosoma is actually the name of a protozoan pathogen. But just like the malaria, even if you take this one also, there are three different types of species are there, and these species causes this disease trypanosomiasis in the humankind. And the three important species that we are about to see in today's session. And here they are, one you can see Trypanosoma gambiense. Trypanosoma gambiense is one important species, and this species is get transmitted by a vector, and the name of the vector is here Glossina palpalis is the name of the vector that causes this disease. See this Glossina palpalis. It is an important even bit for the medical entrance examination. And the common name of this one is tsetse It's a very important part. So it acts like a vector. You know very well the vector means it is an organism which helps in transmission of a disease from infected person to a healthy person. So here the tsetse the scientific name of the tsetse is Glossina palpalis. Actually act like a vector for the species that is Trypanosoma gambiense. And this Trypanosoma gambiense here it causes a disease, and the name of the disease is actually known as Gambian disease or Gambian fever. Since the species name is Gambiense, then the name of the disease also here given like here Gambian disease. And this particularly occurs in the Central Africa, right? The Central Africa sleeping sickness. Whereas the second type of here, the parasite and the species, it comes under here Trypanosoma rhodensiensis. Trypanosoma rhodensiensis is actually the name of the species. And this species even get transmitted by a vector, and name of the vector is Glossina here morsitans. Glossina morsitans is actually the scientific name, and even this is also tsetse fly. So two species of the tsetse flies involves in transmission of this one. Then it actually causes a disease. The name of the disease is rhodesian disease because the species name is rhodesians. So that caused here disease name is rhodesians, and this particularly here occurs in East Africa, hence we call it as East African sleeping sickness. So here the point when you see these two types of diseases, Central African sleeping sickness, East African sleeping sickness, are known as African sleeping sickness. Here they are African sleeping sickness. But you better come to the third type of species that actually causes the disease is known as Trypanosoma cruzi. Trypanosoma cruzi is the name of the species. But interesting thing, this here the species of the parasite is not get transmitted by these flies, but it get transmitted by a particular here a bug, a blood sucking bug is there. Here that bug is known as here Tritoma megista is the scientific name of this one. Tritoma megista is actually a bug. It is not the tsetse fly. it is a blood sucking one. It transmits the disease, and the causative disease is actually known as Chagas. Chagas is the name of a disease that causes here, and actually this is very familiar in the America region. So the South America, this disease is very common. That is the reason why we call it as here American sleeping sickness. What we call this is an American sleeping sickness. Clear, right? So these are all three different species of trypanosoma and causes the variety of diseases in us, and even the causative organisms also, and the vectors also we happen to see now. Now I'd like to give you the structure of this Trypanosoma gambiense and that parasite, so we'll be more clear with that. Afterwards we'll go with the here remaining part. Sripriya G, right? Now I'd like to give you here the structure of Trypanosoma. When you see this trypanosoma structure, this body is just like a wave like here, the surface it has got, and the external body is get covered with a thin membrane, and this thin flexible membrane is known as pellicle. Whereas the internal portion of this one is here get covered by or is occupied by a cytoplasm, and this cytoplasm is distinguished into a outside ectoplasm. This is what the outside ectoplasm. Of course, internally it is here filled with even the cytoplasm, and since it is present inside, we consider it as the endoplasm, right? That central portion of the cytoplasm is known as endoplasm. Endoplasm. At its center, you can see clearly a prominent nucleus is present. A prominent nucleus with nucleolus you can happen to see. And this is actually nucleus. At its extreme anterior end, you can see the flagellum is present. This is what? The flagellum. But interesting point related to this flagellum continues throughout its body and forms such a kind of here the wave-like structure. So this is free, which is not get attached to the body of the organism. So it is known as free flagellum. Whereas this portion of the flagellum is get attached to the body of the parasite. So we call it as here attached flagellum. Attached flagellum it is. When you see this one, the flagellum here it is get extended beyond the body, and here it is a plasma or pellicle. There you can see this portion. You can see here a skin extended in between these two, right? The skin portion is get extended in between these two, that is here attached flagellum and pellicle of the body of a parasite. Clear? Then this portion is known as here undulated membrane. Undulated membrane. At the extreme end of this one, the flagellum, there you can see here a dot-like structure, a node, and this is known as blepharoblast of basal granule. Blepharoblast of basal granule, right? And at its extreme posterior end, there you can see one more here, such a kind of structure. This is actually known as basal body. It is the basal body. So when you see the cytoplasm, within the cytoplasm, all along with its here length, you can see some of the granules are present. These are nothing but the reserved food materials or reserved granules they are. And these are known as reserved food granules. Reserved food granules. This is actually the entire structure of trypanosoma, a parasite. I repeat once again, when you see the body, it has got a wave-like body structure. The body is externally here covered by a thin flexible membrane. We call that membrane as the pellicle. Inside the body, cytoplasm is present, which is get distinguished into outside ectoplasm, inside endoplasm. At its center, you can see the nucleus with a nucleolus. Clear. Thereafter, when you see within the cytoplasm, reserved food granules are present. So they can make use for carrying out its daily activities as well as the metabolic activities. Thereafter, when you see here at its anterior end, a long here hair-like structure we can find out, which we call it as a flagellum. This flagellum is free at its anterior end, hence we call it as free flagellum. Whereas this flagellum is get here extend all along with its length and it is get attached to its body surface. That is the reason why we call it as here attached flagellum. But in between the attached flagellum and the pellicle of here the body of the parasite, the skin is get extended. This skin part is known as undulated membrane. Right, at its here end portion of this attached flagellum, you can find out here a blepharoblast basal granule is present. At its base, you can see the basal body is also present. This is actually the structure of the trypanosoma. Better you can have a snapshot regarding this. Right, and now I'd like to give you how it is get transmitted, and even I explained about the 3 different species of this parasite also in a detailed way. Now here we will see how it is get transmitted, what are the here reservoir host and what is the primary and secondary host, and that followed by the symptoms and treatment and prevention of this disease we will see now, right? The transmission, how this disease is get transmitted. Right, when you see this is actually get transmitted by a blood sucking sese fly. That what I already explained here. Sese fly is actually act like a vector and it bites whenever it bites a infected person and it sucks the blood, then this parasite enter into its body. When the same here infected sese fly bites a healthy one, then it is get transmitted to the sese fly. Clear? That is one thing. So it is the mode of transmission. And next to this, and it completes its life cycle in 3 different types of hosts, right? And coming to the primary host of this parasite is the human being. So you know very well the primary host in the sense in the life cycle of a parasite, the asexual here, sexual cycle it takes place within that. But the secondary host of this one is the actually sese fly, that what I said just now here. Whereas it has got even the reservoir host also. The reservoir host of this one is antelopes. Antelopes is a wild animal that you know very well about that. So that act like a reservoir host, and this reservoir host keeps this parasite within the body, but it never suffers a lot. But it involves in transmission of the disease from here the reservoir host to a new healthy one or new host. So these are all the hosts related to this one. And next to this, when you see and how it infects. Initially the parasite, when you happen to see and it entered into the host body, the parasite it enters into the bloodstream, right? It goes to the blood and as well as the plasma also. It is one important thing. Enters into the blood and here it get enter into the plasma too. From the plasma here it enters into the cerebrospinal fluid of your central nervous system. That you know very well about cerebrospinal fluid. The cerebrospinal fluid, which is actually fluid present around your brain and around your spinal cord. It moves from your anterior end to the posterior end of the spinal cord, and here from the posterior to the anterior it here moves always. This is actually enter into the cerebrospinal fluid. That is one thing. So once it enter into the cerebrospinal fluid, since the fluid is here transported to your brain, it damages your brain greatly. It is one important thing. The brain will be get damaged because of this parasite. Clear? right? And next to this, what are the symptoms of the disease? Once the person infected by this one, he will get here irregular reoccurrence of the fever. It takes place, that followed by the weakness. It's one important thing that you can see here. It is irregular reoccurrence, means very frequently it occurs again and again, the fever, and this is followed by the weakness of a person. This is one thing, one important symptom. And next symptom of this one is a person suffers from the severe headache, one thing. And next to this, loss of body weight. He lose the body weight, that is one more thing. And next to this, increasing the pulse rate. So pulse rate is an indication of your heartbeat. The heartbeat, it increases, that followed by increasing the pulse rate of a person. It's one thing. And next thing here, swelling of lymph glands. It takes place. Lymph glands are the certain kind of glands located throughout your body in the different locations, and the inflammation or swelling of the lymph gland, it takes place, that followed by anemia. Anemia in the sense here declining the blood content. So blood percentage greatly declines. So this is one more thing. Lymph glands also inflammation that you can see. And along with that, in due course of time, the patient falls asleep. This is an important part. So when the condition here it goes on, actually the person or the patient here, he falls asleep. So he'll go into the unconscious stage and he'll go on sleeping for a long time. That is the reason why for the disease, the sleeping sickness, the name is assigned to that, right? So this is all about the symptoms of the disease, right? Better you have a snapshot regarding this. And next here, what is actually the prevention and the treatment for this? We will see now in a detailed way. Right, what is the prevention? You know that when you come to know about the mode of infection or a transmission, usually you can prevent that, then definitely here the disease spreading can be stopped or prevented. And you know very well here, the vectors or sese flies, or they all get transmits this parasite from infected person to the healthy person. Then how do you prevent it? Simple thing is by eradicating the population of the sese flies. Right? Easily you can do it. Then how can you do this? It is an insect. So that by using the insecticides as well as DDT is also a kind of insecticide. So we can kill the population, or you can here kill these sese flies. Sese flies can be killed by using the insecticides as well as the DDT is one important thing. The second important prevention, you know that whenever the sese fly bites you, then generally the parasite it get transfers to you. So here the point is, if you protect yourself from the bites of the sese fly, here it is nothing but a prevention, right? Right. Coming to what are the drugs that we use for treating the disease. So this disease occurs in two different stages. I said the first stage itself, this parasite lives in your blood and plasma. So in the severe condition, the parasite it enters into your cerebrospinal fluid and it damages your brain. At earlier stages, you have to use certain kind of drugs, and these drugs here are suramin sodium is one type of drug that you need to use. Suramin sodium is a drug that we are using for treating the disease, and atoxyl is one more drug that we are using for treating the disease at an earlier stage. And next to this here, piperacamide is one thing that we are using for treating this. And next to that, germanin is a drug that we are using. So these four different types of drugs we are using to treat the disease. Particular point is at its earlier stage, at the earlier stage only. But when the conditions are becoming severe, if the parasite enters into your cerebrospinal fluid and it damages your brain, then arsenin is one important drug that we are using in a severe condition. So it acts very effectively when arsenin, your central nervous system is get affected, right? So by using these drugs at a different stages, definitely we can cure the disease. This is all about Trypanosoma gambiense, right? And trypanosomiasis, the detailed study we made on that. This is one of the protozoan disease. Now let us